All right. We're back in action. Latest attraction. Um, so I was talking about John Lurie. I don't know where it left off because this shit fucked up, dude. It crapped out on me, and I don't even know how long it was for. I literally don't even know if. Well, no, I think it stopped when I was on one part about Lori, but I don't even. Let's take a look.
And that's a cool. A Day Before New York show.
My tummy's making noises because I'm hungry.
It's interesting. That's weird. But my point is that he stopped. Look at this. John, painting is where my soul wants to live. It's like a dog, but it almost looks like a cross.
I think I stopped right before just.
Not as nice as the other one, but interesting. I don't know if it's supposed to be a cross, but.
Yeah, something like saying as that's interesting, but not exactly
carried away, but
not necessarily good or something like that. And then but as you can see, I now have put up the John Lurie painting that I really liked here. And next to the John. Oh yeah, that's right. I started talking about all my people that have kind of like, I guess you could say, rubbed off on me or kind of been influential in terms of speaking. I guess it's better. It's better that way. Y'all already know anyway. I mean, I guess that saves me some of the, I don't know, embarrassment or something, you know. But I was talking about some of my favorites, like of course Eric Strauss and Charles Carroll. Yeah, John Mouse and Vincent Gallo and Wes Anderson, of course. I don't, more aesthetically than his, interviews or anything. I haven't really seen. I need to watch more, but I've just never really. I don't think he's that engaging of like a personality per se. But yeah, Bradford Cox is another good one. Right, and I was talking about, yeah, my parents, my family, like my parents and my sister, but mostly in terms of communication, probably like my dad, like just in terms of communication, and yeah, I guess that's it for the most part. Those are people. Those are just some names of people that really like. Oh yeah, right, and kind of embarrassing, but like, yeah, Jordan Peterson, Slavoj Žižek even, and Camille Paglia, who I kind of was put onto through Peterson, his interviews and stuff. Those are some people who have been a bit revolutionary to me in terms of communication. You might even say not as much, but like this is really embarrassing, but I would say even like Quentin Tarantino or something. But again, more on the film analysis side of things than just in how he communicates a little bit can be. I'd like to think I'm a little, actually, almost less autistic than him. No offense with the autistic thing, but just that it's not the excitability aspect, I guess. I don't know. I can appreciate, even though I was ragging on him earlier because like I'm not huge on I liked him as a teenager, but not as much now, and he's kind of like but in terms of communication, and we do have the same birthday, which is funny, the same birth date, I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I just those are some people, but I wouldn't really I almost want to disavow Tarantino a little bit. Everyone I just named is awesome. I just, yes, I like some of his stuff, but and I like the birth date thing, but you know, I don't exactly, I don't co-sign with him as much these days, you know, just because he's so violent and he doesn't really, he steals a lot. He's kind of violent, and it's just not the best. He's just not that good, but whatever. Anyway, what's up, Boba Fett? I wound up. You're gonna be pissed, but hold on. I actually, it's of course doing this fucking stupid ass shit right now with the signal. I've been like chilling around here because it took me like a half hour to get on the computer, and I think I missed Eric because I think he probably fell asleep. So I was kind of hoping I would come on here and mess around for a while, and that he would kind of show up again, but it has not happened yet. Um, so I did a little ambient music and stuff, and then I did some. Now I've just been kind of talking to myself. I was talking about John Lurie and stuff, um, and some other favorite people, but instead of basically it's just been waiting for Eric, doing ambient music stuff, talking about John Lurie, showing some of his artwork, and then talking about some of my favorite people in general. Trying to kill time here because I mean I would really like to do this typing session this morning. I mean if I have to do it tonight I'll do it, but man, it was too good to be true, dude. Like anyway, though, I was having like login issues and I emailed him and whatever, but I don't know. It was too late. I mean, it was only like a half hour, but that was probably long enough. Like it was clearly like the middle of the night for him and he's probably, he probably fell asleep. So I don't blame him. But I've actually got the meetup window just chilling right here. And I've just been kind of, you know, I don't know, hoping he'd show up, but it's not likely. And I think I shouldn't have even started another stream now. Um, but it cut off, so I just started a new one. So I was resuming where I was at the end of the last when it cut off because my laptop died. And now we're here. And yeah, it's like I really don't have much to talk about. Don't feel obligated to hang out, Boba Fett. I just wanted to pop on. I'm just trying to keep up the energy if he shows up and we can do it now. You know what I mean? I just would really much prefer it to like trying to sleep for a while today and then getting. I mean, I might head out soon though, and just do that because it seems unlikely. And there's like a 3 hour difference, so he's probably not even going to be waking up for like another few hours, and then by that time it's going to be like early noon, and then I don't know. Maybe it's worth it though. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it. It's just not a sure thing, and ugh, God, I hate this stuff. I just wish it didn't take so long to get on. I had that like perfect window of opportunity. But at the same time, if he was ready to fall asleep, it probably wasn't the best time for him anyway. I kind of imagine that he was like, yeah, let's do it now. And then, but running on fumes, right? He's probably, got a little ahead of himself. And then, it's like half hour goes by and it's like fall asleep. So anyway, I don't blame him, but it would be really amazing if he hops on, I don't know, within the next few hours. And otherwise, I'll still probably do it tonight. I'm not going to, I don't want to bail because obviously people want to see it. So, you know, um, I'm either going to, I'll probably It's just fucking weird time right now because it's the morning for me now. It's like 9 a.m. And it's just that weird time of being like, do I stay up for a little while and then, like, I just don't want to be like groggy like later trying to do it at like 9 p.m. Anyway, let's just it would be nice. Let's pray to that he shows up soon, but whatever, I don't want to put too much pressure on him. It was nice that he even was willing to do it at the time. I just figure we're a bit similar in that way. He's probably flexible enough to want to do it now, but I just know you guys are going to be on my butt if I bail later, and I would just rather do it now. I mean, there's no real reason to bail later, I guess. I just don't want to be exhausted. That's why I might just stop streaming soon and try to sleep for a bit at least, and I don't know. It might just be worth seeing if he hops on within the next few hours though, so we can just do like noon. Like if he wakes up within the next few hours, like that would be amazing. I just don't know if he's gonna want to do it first thing in the morning, blah blah blah. You know how it is. Um like I'm saying though, it would be really awesome if he wanted to do it within the next few hours instead of tonight. But I'll still do it later. You know, I'm happy to do it. It's just, I want to kind of be on my A game. I don't want to. It's like I hate to be stingy like that, but I kind of have to, for fucking whatever reason, feel like I need to conserve my energy a bit. So it's like, you know, I think of it as being a little bit of selfish SI, but it's just because I feel like I fucking have to. I'm just always so tired and don't really feel like doing anything. So if I'm popping off on the stream, and he's showing up at the perfect time, and I can just do it now. It's like that's literally perfect. But fucking took me too long to get out. I was so pissed, dude. No, I mean, put off in the sense that we'll see what happens today. If he shows up within the next few hours, that would be great. But I'll still do it tonight, I suppose. If dude, he doesn't want to stream it live, and I almost would prefer just doing a premiere anyway. It's better that way, you know? We'll be talking normally, like just like two people talking. I mean, obviously, well, I guess it doesn't make that big of a difference, but it at least gives the sense that it's just some conversation that's not live or whatever. But no, he doesn't do it live like ever. So I'm not gonna ask him to make an exception, especially when I'm not feeling particularly, keen on doing that anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah, thanks, bro. I just feel like it's better to do a premiere. I wouldn't mind if it was live, but it would be tempting to look at the chat. It's fine, I wouldn't, but also then yeah, there would also be a bit of an added pressure there, right? Nah, so I'd rather just fucking do it. Do a premiere. Anyway, don't mind me just kind of ranting about nothing here. Just kind of thinking about the time I I hate being like that. I just have such a whack sleep schedule, and well, if I gotta try to sleep for a while soon and then try to get up later and do it, I'm fine with that. I don't mean to act like it's so much work. I just don't want to be, like I said, I just don't want to be all like groggy and just be a groggy mess. But no, it's whatever. Well, no, it's the thing. It would be in like 12 hours now exactly. Um, so it's just kind of like I would love to do it within the next like 3 or 4 hours. You know what I mean? So that I don't have to like worry about getting up later and whatever. I mean, whatever. If I've got to roll out of bed and do it, like that's cool. I shouldn't act like it's such a chore. It's just like I said, I'm just always so tired. I never really do any. It's always just a chore to do anything. So, doing this, trying to present myself and kind of be alert. I mean, it necessitates a certain presence. You know what I'm saying? Which is why it's ideal to kind of do it within the next few hours while I'm kind of up and alert. I mean, I did sleep for a while too, and it's just a little irritating because it's not a guarantee, right? Like, so I'll probably head out soonish within the next few hours and then check it out later. You know what I mean? Check out the vibe. Yeah, it's like just wing it. I mean, no joke. Like, it's always kind of the best. I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't affect the typing that badly or anything if I'm tired or something. I mean, I just you know how it is though. People do tune in, not a ton, but like enough to where I don't want to be a mess or whatever. But again, I act like I have such like I'm fucking preparing for the Senate, giving a speech to the Senate. But yeah, you're right. It's nothing you need to prepare for. That's the whole thing. It's got to be natural. It's just I want it to be natural, but like good, not like shitty. Like, hey, hi. I'm like wiping my eyes and being like fucking stupid. Whatever. It doesn't really. I mean, I'll be on here. I might get silly after like 12 hours of streaming or something, but it doesn't impact me like that badly, right? Like, knock on wood and God forbid, but it doesn't really, you know. Ugh. I do just have this thing my neck, and I just feel like I get fucking headaches and stuff. So I don't want to be don't want to be headachy or anything, you know. Well, what else is fucking new? It's just fucking shitty SI or whatever it is. Or I mean, it's just a way of framing it to say, oh, it's bad SI. It's weird, right? Because it's like, okay, well, I do have good SI though, in the sense that I have good memory and things like that. I wish I could say I didn't. If then I would have an excuse. Oh no, I forgot. You know, no, I don't forget. I'm like an elephant. I'm like, nope, yep, I set up, like that kind of thing. That's why it's even more like, it's like, that's the thing. I don't forget. So think something like that would be bailing. Maybe if I was an ENFP or even an ENTP, which again, I might be, but I would have a little more of an excuse. It'd be, oh, I was off doing some fun thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. Oops. No, I'm only flaky in the sense if I'm just like, I don't feel like it. I'm not up to it. That's my flakiness. I don't forget anything. I just don't feel like it, which is like worse, I think. But whatever, man. It's because I'm a just a deep artist. No, no, no. That's it's like keep telling yourself that, right? That's what I keep telling myself. So don't freaking blow my brains out. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Look, that was unnecessary. But no, it's like no joke though, right? You're like I'm a deep artist, so not just a freaking loser. No, but no, I just think of this physical stuff as being SI. I mean, it is right. SI and SE. That's what it is. you know. If it's gonna be anything, it's just interesting though because if you say things about memory and whatnot, I'm like, oh well, that's actually somewhere where I'm pretty good at it. Memory and impressions and things like that. And I mean, being made impressed upon. Although I am actually pretty good at some impressions, yeah. In terms of like vocal impressions of people, but not amazing, but pretty good. And uh, what else? I mean, I'm aware of time. I don't lose track of time like I used to do that. I think more when I was younger. Now I'm like tragically aware of time. I think I don't know if anyone maybe that's you get a little older and you're like oh shit like I gotta start doing stuff before I freaking die. That's a little existential, right? But um, maybe not so much SI as it is just life kicking your ass when you get older to do stuff, to do good stuff. Um, anyway, though, that those types of things, like yeah, I'm good at SI in those ways. But in terms of my, uh, Ricky, I have a sort of routine, but it's not normal, and I also generally just kind of don't feel that well and things like that, and in those ways, I have bad SI. I will say though, those might be, those are better. That's more good at SI than bad. Um, of course, the SE sometimes lacking that volition, a bit of will and volition there. So SI SE stuff, little TE, maybe lower TE or backstack TE. But you guys are right. I mean, generally speaking, I do have pretty good FE. Again, that would be why. I mean, honestly, watch Eric thinks I'm like an ISFJ or something. Boba Fett says routine. Well, yeah, I mean, I always say like I have a routine. It's just like a bad routine. Like it's like I have to actually enjoy the thing though. Every now and then, I don't know. It's just you never know. I could grow into that kind of thing because it's not. I don't think I'm actually like horrible at SI stuff. Not as much as when you account for the big picture of the definition, right? I'm actually quite good at certain SI things. Like I could definitely get with being clean, like cleaning up. I mean, I'm like a clean person, but like Jordan Peterson, I need to clean my room more. That kind of thing. I could probably get with. Um, I could grow into, so to speak. What is this? Oh, okay, it keeps doing this thing. Um, it does feel funny though to think like I'm actually an SI dom, but I mean it's possible. I would feel like a bit of a fraud though if I'm just indulging in all this kind of NE ish stuff, esque stuff. I don't know what it is, and then it turns out, nah, man, you're actually not, or at least you shouldn't be paying attention to that stuff. It's a little bit frightening, you know. But I mean, this is the thing. Okay, you're paying attention to it, but you also actually have to be good at it, right? So it's like with Eric, right? So like people will say, "Oh, like you're an ISFJ." Some people, there's like that little club of people who kind of think he's like an ISFJ. And it's like it's like Jordan Peterson. Yeah, maybe. But no, but it's like yeah, maybe, but it's like okay, but he's actually good at the NE, right? So it's like you can pay attention to this shit all day long, but if you're not good at it, then you're probably not the type. You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't profess to be. I don't think I'm like the most Mister Amazing NE, like just constant jokes and things. Like Lino is brilliant with some of that stuff. Like earlier, what he his little pun about Old McDonald. I mean, I guess it's not exactly my humor or something, but like, but it's stuff though that I wouldn't come up with. Like he said something like his socionics type, Old McDonald's socionics type is EIEIO. Like that's fucking hilarious, and that's not something that I would like. You know, I have a more sort of conversational humor or whatever, but just things that come up, and if it's funny, it's funny, or things with delivery or things like that. But the reality of the situation though is that I don't know if I'd be able to come up with that stuff. He's just he's quick in that kind of clever way that I could just never be. I have my skill sets and everything, but those kinds of like puns and things, I mean, yeah, they occur to me by accident, but I don't really think to. I don't know. I just it's a different vibe. He's just quick like that, you know. It may just be a thing of. I mean, he doesn't smoke weed or anything, and you know, it's like I know everyone wants to whatever, right? But it's I do think it has an impact, at least on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just comes up with things like that, no problem, off the cuff, like it's nothing, right? And oh yeah, I'm super talkative and everything, but you don't even right now. There's nothing really. I mean, I guess Eric is like that. It's not like he's always coming up with whatever. Ne gets very overly, you know what I mean? Stereotypes is this like constant stream or whatever. It's stream of conscious, but it's not. It's hit or miss though, and it's very much so in the moment. Um, in any case, whatever that is, I mean, it's you know, I'm talking about melting zero, by the way. Like he's an INTP, so maybe that's what TI does. It just helps because it's like it's not just self. Because I was just thinking that I'm more creative about weird things like that about myself or stuff that I like or something, I guess. And then, but he's creative in that way that's it's like more detached, but it creates more like it's almost more fundamentally creative in that way, you know? Like, oh shit, that pun though. Um, but again, it might just be something like, you know, he doesn't smoke weed or you know that kind of stuff. My point though being, I can be very talkative and everything, but you'll notice it's like even right now, it's not like I'm coming up with, oh wow, a connection over here, this and that, you know, like, and then, ooh, wouldn't this be funny? Oh, a duck going quack, and then it instead of quack, it's actually saying back because it rolls off a duck's back. I'm like coming up with like which that is like an impression of a fucking that's almost that's embarrassing because that sounds like a person with bad NE's impression of NE, but you get the idea. I mean, it's close enough. Fuck you. This idea, right, of you're just you can't even stop. Your brain's just firing off in all directions. I'm over here just like, huh? What? Fucking asleep. So whatever. But my point being, it's talkative. It's not always creative though. I think of myself as being relatively creative, but anyway, I just wouldn't put too much stock in being like an NE dom, but I would definitely make a case for the NE tool. You know, because I ain't no slouch, and I can freestyle like pretty well, like freestyle rap, and I can come up with things quickly like that. But I mean, can you do that, Boba Fett? I mean, can NI users do that as well? You know, I mean, I remember John. He says he can't. I mean, he can write stuff, but he can't freestyle, or he says he can't freestyle. Um, I don't know. He could be good at it, but he doesn't think he's good. He doesn't try to do it. Um, but it's also just having rhythm and things like that as well. I mean, I'm definitely better at writing than freestyling. Although even when I write, it's in a stream of consciousness kind of way. I don't know. I just like that approach better. So I'm probably an NE user. Anyway, I think there's something to be said for your manner of attention, but also if you're actually good at it. You can't just be saying like, "Oh yeah, hee hee, I pay attention to NE all the time, so creative." You actually have to be kind of good at it. So don't mind me thinking out loud. I just am saying, making the case for this kind of back and forth thing of like, yeah, I mean, it's good enough, I think, to be something good at it, you know, especially in terms of my whole life. That's kind of how people think of me, or at least generally. If you were gonna come up with a function, if you were gonna, poll everyone I know what they like think of when they think of me, they would probably illustrate NE esque behaviors. Not even FI stuff, which is, you know what I mean? Not even FI stuff or SI stuff or really anything else. It would inevitably be NE stuff. I mean, maybe some people are just trying to be nice because they're thinking of me when I was like 5, right? But it's still generally speaking, it's still accurate generally speaking. And you're great at off the fly stuff generally. Well, I prefer it. I prefer improvisation. I mean, but it's also like less work. It feels like less work than No, Mackenzie, I'm streaming to kill some time because I really am hoping that Eric shows up again because I took like a half hour to get on because I couldn't fucking log on, and um it's just I'm out of space, and then my email wouldn't load, and then I finally was able to open it. I've been sitting here. I have the link open right here. And if he doesn't get up soon enough, I'll just do it later. We'll do it tonight. But I'm kind of streaming to kind of try to keep the energy up so that maybe he wakes up in a few hours or something, and we can do it then. So I'm kind of just back on here chilling. Well, I did email him twice earlier because I was like, "Can you send it to this email instead?" Like, my bad. And then I told him to send him it. Hold on, I have to go back to the. Okay, nice. Right. So here we are again. I'm just musing about type again as usual. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to bombard him too bad though, because I don't know if he's getting notifications. Like I've clicked ask to join and shit here like 20 times, and then I send him those two messages. So I'm like, never mind. You know, I'm here now, and then he's. I just would really prefer to do it this morning, but it's fine if we can do it tonight. I just, man, I wish I caught him though right at that time because that was so perfect. I don't know if you were here. Huh? You just sent him an email? Oh man. Well, I don't want him to. I don't know. He doesn't seem like that kind of stuff doesn't really bother him that much, does he? I mean, he's probably getting emails all the time. I just don't want him to be like. I can hear his voice right now. Like, all right, I'll do the session now for fuck's sake. It's not bad, Eric, right? Oh my god, I'm getting emails. It's on my ass right now. It's like, why is Mackenzie texting me to do the typing session now too? Can you guys calm down? I don't even know. No, I don't. I don't mind. I'm just saying, if we gotta wake his ass up, and that's what's gonna do it to get it done now, it's fine as long as he's not too pissed about it, right? I just don't want to be a dick because it's not asking that much of me to just do it tonight. You know, it's just kind of ideal when I'm kind of up and alert now when it's the morning now, and I don't know. It's just gonna. I'd rather not have it looming overhead. Again, not to make a mountain out of a molehill, but anyway, if I gotta do it later, it's fine. You know, I'll still do it tonight. I just am a little more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed right now. But that's cool. We'll see. A little more nasally and scratchy. He's actually pissy lad. Just gotta deal with it. Yeah, facts. Ugh, gotta like do this two-factor authentication. Lol. Authentication. Man, all my technology is being whack. This is the other thing too, is like I didn't even smoke any weed yet. So it was kind of perfect to be a bit more just clean and clear, like, hey, what's up? You know? Maybe I'll just still wait anyway, but no, I just don't want to screw it up. I don't want to be like getting on later and be like, hey, what? Hi. Like that. She goes, do it. I would understand. I wouldn't want him to get mad either. Yeah. She goes, do it now. Oh, never mind. You want to be fresh. Fresh. Right. That's the thing. Yeah, I'd just rather be as kind of clean and clear as possible. That's the thing. I was kind of hoping to do it now and be able to smoke a little bit after, but you know. Who needs it anyway? Right. There's nothing to screw up Boba Fett. Yeah, I was thinking you're right, Boba Fett, you know? I work myself up too much. Mackenzie goes, you want it to be an unfucked with typing session in every way possible. Right, exactly. Like certain certain faculties, like may be diminished a little bit under the influence, like Ti, for example. Right? I don't know. You know how it is. Even NE, right? I don't know. Well, whatever. I mean, it probably doesn't make that big of a difference. I just had it in my house thinking, oh, I'm gonna abstain um for whatever until because I just happened to have not smoked because I started streaming, and then I was like, oh man, Eric's gonna come through like perfect, and then I'll just smoke after, and then but then I missed him, and so now I'm chilling. So, but I'll probably just keep it up, you know, and smoke later or whatever. It's not like really a necessity. I just get so used to that thing, right? Just like, oh, I'm gonna smoke my weed. No, I'm joking, but you know, doing my George Carlin thing, taking like a few hits off a joint every day. Yeah, when I did my Mackenzie says, yeah, when I did my typing session, it was awful. I felt like shit and couldn't think straight, but did anyway. Lol, it's CSC though, I guess. Actually, I think I watched a little bit of yours recently because it just happened to come up, and I was laughing not at you, but because I could imagine myself doing it, doing the a bit about like the store, and he was asking you some kind of question that was like, well, how did the someone's getting like murdered at the CVS or something kind of thing. And I was just laughing because I honestly I felt like the way you responded was similar to how I would, because you got like the gist of it, the takeaway. You're like, okay, so everyone's getting killed. Like he just said a bunch of shit, and then you got like the takeaway from it, which was like, okay, so people are getting killed at the CVS every time. And I was like, lol, that's literally exactly what my takeaway. Just filter out all the unnecessary stuff. But I didn't notice. I wouldn't have. I didn't notice that you were like whatever, anything off what or something. But yeah, I want to just have sort of peak performance. um, she also says that's the SE though. I guess. Um, right. What pushing? Kind of pushing through there. Well, you got typed ENTP, right? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's a single typing session that I've ever watched the whole way through it, and that's not like a knock to Eric or anything. It's just like, I mean, they're like an hour ish. So I catch premieres sometimes, but that's just if I happen to. You know what I'm saying? Kind of makes me sound like a dick though. It's like, especially for any of you guys that are gonna actually watch it. I'm like, oh shit, I should really watch you guys's too. What the fuck? But I mean, no, it's just it's not personal. It's just I am not. I mean, what can I say? I'm not as interested in other people's typing sessions, I guess. Let's just be honest, right? Let's not bullshit. Let's not bullshit here. Anyway, right? ENTP probably, right? Or ESTP or something. Yes. She says no. I got typed ESTP, but I wanted to set the typing session right then and there, despite going through moderate cognitive distress at the time. But if I had waited till that was over, I would have waited for years. Yeah, no joke. I feel that. I feel that right now. Well, not so much. Just that if I don't do like we're doing this shit today, you know, because I've already put it off for way too long. It's funny though, because I almost prefer it this way, but I think people were thinking like, oh, he's trying to be mysterious and elusive, or he doesn't want to be put in a box and this and that. And that all sounds great, but honestly, a little embarrassing. But I think I've just kind of been a bit nervous to actually do it. You know, mostly. Funny enough, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of for FE reasons, right? It's like, oh, I want to be presentable and do a good job and everything, and all of that. So it's interesting to consider. You kind of wish you'd well, if you like didn't like if you got typed ESTP, you would think you probably seemed pretty present, right? Well, I kind of wish I had waited, though. I don't think the results would have been different, but I would have been able to remember it better and probably have a better time performing on tests. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you were expecting like a more intuitive result or something, like maybe you did you how did you do on any on like the NE tests and stuff like that? Because like maybe that was a little not as good as you thought or something. But still, it's a I guess a testament to your ability to push through that to be present in that way, and then I mean to test as an SE dom, right? Certainly not slouching in that way. Impact making, whatever. And also, ENTPs have decent SE too. Obviously, not nearly as good, but even if you were, you know, it's still probably whatever. You can always do a retyping too, right? I mean, um, if you're so inclined. I did bad on those, but I think I wouldn't have done great regardless of how mentally capable I was at the moment. I think SE is correct, but the entire time I was having a hard time focusing and understanding. Yeah. I know it's to be honest, that's one of the things too where I just don't want to be a dummy and just be like, "What?" Not you like we're being a dummy or anything, but what do you expect, right? I mean, it's Eric. He's going to be coming up with certain things. It's I mean, I guess it's kind of designed to catch you off guard a little bit, right? Um, but yeah, I want to do some inky pinkies, you know, things like that. It's weird because I was shitty at those for a time, and then I don't know what was going on, but I started getting good at it. Um, I think it just depends. I think I didn't really understand the game at first, which is very relevant, right? For some reason, I was just like, what? But then after a little while, when my brain started working better again, I guess I was like, oh, you say right. It's the syllables, and then you're saying the thing that it alludes to, and it's like it sounds like when you're just explaining it, it sounds like a fucking bizarre, and it's so funny and weird that you would say that, Mackenzie, because I feel like the exact same way, even still a little bit, which is literally a big. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually kind of a big reason of like not wanting to do it, right? It's like, oh, I just had horrible brain fog for a while, even on the stuff that my type is supposed to be skilled at. I was blanking majorly. Yeah, I didn't understand the game either. Yeah, well, thank you, right? It's a fun game though. That's what I mean. Like I was super fogged out and still kind of deal with that a bit, but I was could not understand it for a little bit, and then I was like, oh, okay, I get this now. but it's like sort of hard to explain, right? I mean, you have to when he's explaining it, I'm just like, what? It's kind of like with anything, especially if you're fogged out like that. When people explain a game, like how to do a game, and I'm just like, literally, it's almost as if it goes right over my head, and I have to just do it. I just have to freaking do it. Yo, what up, Lino? I'm waiting, hoping that Eric shows up soon because we were going to do the typing session, and it took me too long to get on, of course. And I think he must have fallen asleep. So I would much prefer to do it now. I don't even know. Neurological. That's interesting and too bad. I hope it's a little bit better now. It sounds like maybe it's gotten a bit better. There are a few potential reasons for it. I mean, again, I've kind of hinted at some of these lifestyle things, but at the same time, well, not so much hinted, but directly addressed, right? Just the schedule, bad schedule, the weed, and everything. But there's also I did get I don't really talk about this very much because it's kind of niche, I guess. But I did get diagnosed a while back with this thing called POTS, which is like a but I don't even know if I really have it because some people, I mean, people have it really bad. They'll pass out and things and all of that. Uh, that's one of the symptoms, though. It's actually a big one. It's like a blood volume thing. Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, the longest fucking name ever. And it basically means that your heart rate goes up upon positional changes. And what that means is then you get sort of it's like dysautonomia, so you get symptoms like lightheadedness, brain fog, things like that. So I was diagnosed with that when I was like a teenager because of one test, and I take Indorol for that, which seems to kind of help. I think I just need to. What a surprise! I need exercise and sunlight and things. Like what? No, no way. Otherwise, though, I do have some neck stuff, which is weird and kind of interesting because it's cervical spondylosis, mild cervical spondylosis, and so actually severe, allegedly severe. The chiropractor said he didn't really see anything, which is weird, but these frickin' people, man, you know. But no, I mean they do what they can. He just said he couldn't really see it on the X-ray, but apparently I got severe right foraminal stenosis, which that can get in the way of the nerves a bit, and it's probably the best explanation I've had so far, especially lately. And I do also get mild allergies and things like that. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it, you know. So as you can tell, you know, there's like a few possibilities there, but yeah, it's pretty weird. I mean, um, it definitely kind of came up as much more of an issue in like 2020, which was sort of freaky because, of course, with COVID and everything. But I didn't get COVID, and well, I did actually get it, but it was at the end of last year, and luckily, God forbid, right? That was not a very big deal. It sucked for a few days, for like a week or two, but I didn't even get messed with that bad. Thank God for that. That was scary to think that if I was gonna get messed up by that, but nah. It's just one of these things. I start talking about it, and it could be this, it could be that. But the point is that it was definitely in 2020. But also, I was spending a shitload of time in this basement and things. The basement is pretty clean, but like it did seem to coincide with spending a lot of time inside. Yeah, but seriously though, and just a bit of fucking cognitive decline. I don't know, um, ensuing from that or something. You know, um, it was also a little bit before COVID became like a real problem. So it was not. It does. It is freaky though. You know what I mean? I hate that idea of like it was some scary fucking conspiracy or whatever, right? It was the 5G, right? Or whatever the hell. And nah, I don't know, man. I mean, it was just started getting more foggy and yeah, you know. That's honestly a big part of why I feel like weed ain't doing the trick as much anymore cuz it's kind of just like, well, why the hell do I want to get more foggy? You know what I'm saying? Because I just do not. I mean, this is interesting. Like earlier, Lou was on here and she was saying, and I kind of get it. She was saying like, "Oh, I smoke weed, and then it'll be um, like more detached or something like that." I wish I could find it, but it was something like getting perspective on an issue, where she could be a little bit detached from the thing, and I could kind of understand that. But generally speaking, though, it just makes me more fucking dumb. Well, you know, just like kind of foggy and stupid. So in that way, I guess, right? That's not really what I prefer, you know. I like to be sharp, and like that's why I'm waiting to smoke, you know, for the typing session because it definitely does make me a bit more slow. Uh, right, I was saying it makes me a bit more. It's the typical stuff. It makes me more lazy, and it makes me more something a bit more paranoid too. Um, but Lou is saying like, oh, I don't get lazy at all, and it's interesting because she's INFJ, and I wonder if even that lower slot SE, because again, I don't think that I'm SE front stack, and if it was, it would be low. I think, right? But I wonder though if that makes it easier to push through that. Like exercising, I was saying, like it's an absolutely futile effort to think that I'm gonna smoke weed and then exercise. It's just an absolutely ridiculous, absolutely asinine, Ben Shapiro. And just in case you didn't know, and uh, no, it's stupid. I get why some people might like to do it. You can kind of get in the zone or whatever. But you got to be freaking Joe Rogan, right? You got to be an ESTP, right? I guess, right? Basically, you know what I'm saying? I've done it before. Believe it or not, I've actually exercised. I've definitely, especially like years ago, um, and I could kind of understand it. But it's just like everything else. Why would I feel like it's already like fucking wading through molasses? I don't need to fucking add weed to it and then just suck even more, you know? Just sucking. Anyway, it's also a different thing because, like, I mean, I've been freaking smoking weed since I was like a teenager and just turned 27. So, I mean, what do you think? It's not going to be um, amazing forever, you know, or whatever, right? Um, oh, man, I got to eat something though. But yeah, I feel that Mag Daddy just about the you know, lifestyle habits and it's gotten better, not 100% though. Yeah, that's I mean, that's good though. It was kind of on its way. Oh, you know, something else that's interesting is like I actually it turned out I had low vitamin B12. I also have low vitamin D, but that's a given, and I've had that for years. But something can maybe worth considering if I can impart any wisdom, just because that can actually cause some weird stuff too. Sometimes, in fact, I might actually pop a B right now, um, because that stuff can help with that kind of thing. B12, but you know, vitamin B12, vitamin D, stuff like that. Um, Lino though says, I'm currently at a day clinic doing some therapy, meeting some people, drawing Pokemon with crayons. Yep, that's how that thing goes. I did want to ask you about that. I'm sorry, man. I actually really did want to ask you about that. Of course, I if I'm on the stream, I'm not exactly going to be like hey man, how's your therapy, right? but you know how it is. I'd been wondering how that was going, and I appreciate you bringing it up because, well, so then I don't have to ask you on the stream awkwardly. But basically, that is how it goes. I did. I know you know this, but some years ago, and it was a very similar kind of thing. It's just like, you meet other people, you get some perspective, and you draw, do things like that. Do you so it's going all right, hopefully? You think vitamin D supplements, they're pretty cheap? I do. I used to take it like every day, and now I take it when I think to take it. I might actually take the B12 and the D right now. Now that I'm thinking of it, because it doesn't hurt. I mean, God forbid, right? It's like, especially if you know you've got low B12 or D. Um, which I probably still do. I think the B12 is not as bad because the supplements kind of knock that out. And I was having like bad like nutrition, which has gotten a little bit better. And then but the vitamin D kind of stays low. I'm sure it's still low because I don't go outside. Not really. Um, which is also something else to consider. It's like, I mean, does that make you an introvert by design or by necessity? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I get why you wouldn't think extrovert, right? Because it's kind of like, but you would have to go outside, kind of thing, right? I don't know. Just saying. If you're on the a little unhealthier side, I suppose you could still be extroverted and spend all your time inside. I don't know, but I'm actually gonna do that now, and I really need something to eat. I'm trying to stay up now for a little while and hope that Eric pops on. Yeah, I mean, like last summer, like, which I gotta take care to not get like that again because I was fucking flailing. And the doctor, he got me on a regimen. No, he got me. I started taking the B12 and the vitamin D, and then I got on the Inderol again. And those things seem to generally help. I mean, obviously you can't beat whatever, right? A fucking, hard day's work or whatever. But um, I did need that boost, and that actually they were pretty helpful. The day clinic is going pretty well, but I'm currently thinking I'm gonna. This is from Lino. The day clinic is going pretty well, but I'm currently thinking I mean, I need a psychoanalyst to actually become happy. The clinic is basically cognitive behavioral with extra steps. Yeah, I mean, if I remember when we talked about that, it's kind of like when you kind of know about a lot of this stuff already. It's good to have the routine and like go and talk to different people and things like that. But I'm sure that you already know a lot of the stuff that they talk about. Like I remember there was this one guy who came in and I felt like the star student and I almost felt like I could teach the class or something, you know what I mean? But it's like not to get ahead of myself, but I'm just being real, like pretty it was pretty like apparent. And uh point being that yeah, you probably already know what's up, and then so yeah, you probably will just need to like kind of keep up with some kind of like therapist, yeah. Which to be honest, I probably need to do myself. Like I had a pretty nice therapist who actually had used to be a monk, which is just kind of amazing. And to be honest, I never even really asked him about it very much because he didn't divulge the information. I guess kind of awkward thing, right? Um, but he was kind of a spiritual kind of guy, and he was good. But I just felt like I wasn't really putting in well, the SE for one, but the TE even, right? So it was I kind of stopped seeing him actually at the end of last summer or so, and so I probably want to get back in touch with him because he's pretty good. Um, if you can find someone that you can jive with like that, it can be a really good thing to just even just to be able to work fucking through right your stuff, just to talk through certain things with someone who actually ideally has a certain expertise. You know, I know how it is around here, how people are about experts and expertise, and I get it, I really do. But I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, people are experts. You know, I mean, if whatever you find that out yourself. I mean, if they're a dumbass, you stop seeing them. But when you see someone whose literal job is to give people therapy and they have a degree and they've been in the practice for a long time, it's like they're gonna be more knowledgeable than some regular ass person, you know, and that's their job, and you pay them to you know what I mean, help you to get your kind of practice. I mean, I don't mean to project, but for me, it was a lot of just like practical, like goal oriented stuff. It's funny because thinking it out loud right now, it's actually a lot of SE and TE type of shit. I guess SI too, right? Maintenance stuff of like how to be like healthier and happier, right? And I, hey, it's honestly can be pretty good if you get someone that's good. People skills and hobbies. People skills and hobbies help me with being occupied and distracted, but probably won't cure my nihilism, which I realized the last couple of days. But for the majority of people, it seemingly does. It seemingly does. Well, yeah, I mean that's sort of a deep thing that I don't want to. We can talk about that on the Discord or something, but like I don't want to too one sidedly muse about nihilism, right? But you know how it is. I mean, well, I know how it is. I mean, you know, when it's you gotta trudging through that is like no, it's the same thing. It's like wading through molasses. You're not going to. You have to. Hey, what's up, Misfortune? I'll read you what you're saying in a second, but no, that whole kind of purpose thing. When that's getting at the back of you while you're still kind of engaged in things, right? Um, yeah, that takes like a bit more work, right? It does, yeah, for a lot of people though. It does. It's enough. But if you're a kind of whatever, a deep thinker, right? No, it's true. What are you gonna? I mean, whatever you'd like to call it, right? If you're pondering your purpose and things like that, it's naturally going to occur to you. Some people, though, I just don't know. They just don't get bothered by it. God bless them, right? Whatever. Anyway, but right, that's like a whole thing though that I'd love to sort of, if anyone wants to chime in on that kind of thing, because I mean, I sort of struggle with that too. You know, I mean, when it really comes down to it, it's not necessarily thinking like, oh, nothing matters, but it's kind of more like, no, like stuff matters, but like I just don't have like the drive to like do anything. I don't know. It's a different kind of thing, but very similar, right? Um, And it's just kind of like, oh, well, in that case, though, right? Then, and it kind of doesn't matter then, or whatever kind of thing. Um, Solipsism too. Sometimes get into that kind of solipsistic mindset as well. That's never good. Misfortune says not all people with diplomas deserve them. However, it is safer metric to go off than Joe Blow on the street giving you CBT. Yeah, I do think, or CBD. I just want to say that I do think most things could just be a pretty great at self teaching. But I definitely see your point about the professionals. Hey, he, um, yeah, I just like it's. I'm just saying, like spoken with that are just drop the ball, um, and maybe one or two that were just stupid. Um, Usually they're kind of just well-meaning advice, counselors. That's what they're supposed to do, and they just kind of help you to be a little more practical and figure out stuff to like, what is it that you could do today that's going right. And it's like, well, what could I do today, right? It's like, oh, let's talk to this. Then you actually have to do it, which that's the part for me that's difficult. That's why some of it would never really work as well as it could. So note to myself and to everyone, you actually have to do the stuff. Because if you don't, then they'll fucking get on your ass and it's a waste of time. Because that's my problem. I can talk the talk, but I don't walk the walk always, right? That would happen all the time. I'd become like friends with the therapist, right? And we'd be talking and they'd be like, hey, it's nice to, talk and everything, but I kind of feel like we're just talking and it's like you're not actually like doing anything. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. They're like, so what are you gonna do about that? And it's like, I don't know. Could we just keep talking? No, literally though. So that's just the whole thing, right? But Lena says, yeah, I just meant most people cure their depression and become happy. Oh, with CBT, which is awesome. I just can't relate and feel betrayed by the constant dangling carrot. And CBT, certain things like reframing, right? Like positive reframing and things like that. That's something I need to do. Misfortune says, I've thought about that before. In it may be like the framework view of life fundamentally that allows the nihilism to remain despite partaking in those activities. And I got to process that. Hold on. Framework. Right. Okay, yeah. Unless I'm wrong and there are more people whom CBT won't help, which I'm glad to be taught about. Like most people have an intact framework, but they've had life situation weighing them down and inhibiting it, something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure like what the mindset is, but it's something about I think being like and I hate to always go back to these kinds of things, but like it's something about being um productive in some way. Like honestly, it's not even just being productive, it's being like kind of, but like beneficial somehow, which and I don't mean that in any way of like knocking anybody because believe me, like it's I get it, but I think like I just think of all the people that I know. I only say this because I'm just thinking about all the people that I know that uh, they kind of don't have those problems and they kind of just push through. It seems like the stuff that always gets them through is by knowing like, well, I have to do this and to get that X, Y, and Z, and it's like enough to keep people. I mean, until they have a fucking nervous breakdown or whatever, right? But God forbid. And it's like most of the time those kinds of the extroverted functions, whether it's FE or TE or SE or even NE, that's that stuff I feel like that gets you it gets you something you're like, well, I have to do this because this and that. And some of the introverted functions, I guess SI, but like TI, NI, like and FI certainly are not helpful. right? I mean, helpful, right? I mean, well, no, I mean they can become helpful, but I'm just saying generally you got to be in some way. I think kind of extroverting, and then you kind of derive your purpose from that. Just speaking from what it seems like most people tend to do, they seem like they seem like they're not as bothered by the more weighty existential type stuff because they're more engaged in some kind of present practical mindset that keeps them occupied, gives them a kind of sense of purpose. And it really is very fucking Jordan Peterson, of course, right? Something like JP, meaning from responsibility, Tony Robbins' contribution to society. That's funny. I know of Tony Robbins. I know it's maybe not necessarily true. It's very I guess it's very TE kind of, but fucking even the therapists, man. I mean, they'll tell you that shit too. It's always kind of the same. Well, I mean, one thing I've thought about lately for myself is like, um, well, I've thought about this for a while, but it's kind of like you can't like do good. Like you have to do good to feel good. You don't like feel good to do good. You know. So like that's been my problem, and that is something that people have spoken about, like that guy Charles Carroll. People talk about this. You can't wait till you like feel good to do the good. You have to actually do the good at first, and then begin to feel good after a while, which is a pain in the ass, obviously. But I don't know. It is what it is. It's probably something in the brain and the body that you have to do by it's a like a learn by doing thing or something. I mean, you have to freaking rewire your brain, right? So um so it's just like you're never going to want to do anything until you're actually like doing it, right? I mean, even streaming for me is like I mean, I guess that's a bit of a lie because I actually felt like it, but the only reason I felt like it was because I was on Eric's stream, and this is what happened the last time I streamed too. I have to get something going until to make me actually want to do anything, like talking to people, going on Eric's stream, talking to people, and then suddenly getting a bit of a lift, and then being like, you know what, I actually feel like streaming right now. But if I don't do that, I'm just in a pit of despair. I don't want to be dramatic, but it's like if I'm not doing that though, I will never. I never want to stream. And the reason that I went through that period like last year, where I was streaming like fucking constantly, was because I was doing the thing and it kept going, right? I mean, I did eventually crash, but that's because I fucking overindulged, right? So you got to have that balance, that amazing balance and neutrality. No, I don't know. But no joke, right? That's just funny to think of right now, to be honest. I didn't even like really think of that. The socialization begets like more socialization. I mean, my dad always says it. It's like it's good begets good, right? It's like but yeah, you actually have to do the damn thing to get you going. It can be so fucking tough, especially when you're like just kind of stuck for years in a sort of rut. But every time you do it though, I think it gets a bit easier, and then it's just a matter of keeping up that momentum and not letting it get too fucking bad. Because I know how it is. You get it let it get bad, and then you're not doing anything ever. You know. But yeah, it's like that though. Jumping the SE polar car battery, so to speak, because it's like you just get that little bit of energy by say like talking to some people, And then suddenly it's like, oh, I feel like, you know what, this actually, I seem to have some energy now for some reason. It's almost like people are supposed to be social, right? And then oh, let's, okay, I'm down to do a stream now. It's like, oh, there we go. Oh, and now I'd like to do some music. Ooh, right? And then suddenly it's like it's a good vibe. And then I'm doing more, and then it's that kind of thing. And I really, there's something to that for sure, right? So, personal example, but you see that all the time with everyone, I think. When you're yeah, so Misfortune says well, some don't have frameworks of belief at all, but I was thinking along the lines of being aware of existential problems, seeing the absurdities of society, the bad actors, etc. So like it is harder to break through to change that framework. Just for an example, kind of. So true, CG. The act of pulling yourself off the couch is to do things despite feeling like a puddle of shit. Lol. No joke, right? Then keep doing that until you build the fucking habit. Hard AF sometimes. Oh, but yeah, it's literally like you're fucking chiseling new brain pathways or something, and it's like I feel a little silly even talking about it because I never do it, but anytime that I've in any way done it, like even right now, just talking with you guys and everything is like something good, right? And that kind of makes a new pathway to something good, right? And that's kind of beautiful. Tear up. Well, it is. It is good. And yeah, it really it's amazing because it starts with very like simple things. I just start talking to someone, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's good, and like now I've got a little bit of energy, and then you want to do other good stuff. But Molly said that is also true too about life circumstances that people can't control being their problem fundamentally rather than just their own thing. Yeah, that's I always think of that Peterson and Zizek debate where you know it's this thing of Peterson being like, "Clean your room, Bucko," and then there's a yeah cries in JP, and then Zizek is like, "Well, you can't always just up and clean your room when there's bullets flying through your window, right?" And that's like, of course, the metaphor for that, obviously, of like you get this external conditions, but I think for people like me, or and I'm not going to speak for any of you guys, but assuming that's not the case, that it's more internal conditions. That's who JP is speaking to. You know what I mean? So in other words, it's reductive to say, oh, you're just gonna clean your room or whatever. It's like I understand people being like, fuck you, I'm being put upon by all of this other stuff, and like that literally is hey, they probably are. I mean, especially if you're like Zizek, it makes me think of if you're in like a lower class area or something, right? There's crime and there's things that are actually inhibiting you. It's like, okay, but if you're not dealing with that and it's more like internal, then I think JP's advice is sort of helpful. It's nothing genius. I was just talking about this. It's not like JP's a genius or anything. You know what I mean? But sometimes you just need to hear that, I guess, right? And just be like, fuck, yeah, you're right. It's like, uh, so that perfectly relates to that whole thing. Because, yeah, sometimes you get other problems that are actually fucking you up and that have nothing to do with your own volition or something. But a lot of times it is. I mean, I don't know what the percentages would be, but it's probably it's a lot. It's a lot. A lot. It's a lot. A lot of young men, they don't even know that they have to take a shower. It's like fucking insane. No, but yeah, those were. I always think of that though, because it's such a thing, and it just goes back and forth like that, right? Well, what about the bullets in the windows? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, um, because it's so nice to think that it's just like, you know what, we all just need to. just pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and blah blah blah. And just like, but yes, you're right. There's people who actually have a fucking shit that they can't just solve by cleaning their room. But a lot of people do. It's like, don't belittle that mindset. I mean, yeah, it's maybe not as horrible as having bullets flying through the window, but hey, at least it's a way out towards something good, right? That someone like Peterson provides. Yeah, I'll get to this. Hold on, I want to mention something, but um, I gotta remember this. But I just want to catch up with the chat. So like Miss Fortune says that balance is actually hard to teach. I do the same type of shit. Get onto something, do it too much, so I start to drop it. Like read 20 books in a row and I can't read for a year. Law. Oh my god, I have the same thing. She goes, I think that's like a hyper focus thing. Yeah, I think it is. Lena goes, yeah, like if someone is helped to move away the rubble, they know what to do to be happy and fulfilled because it's still hard coded. Yeah, hold on, wait. Ms. Warren says, yeah, clear blockages to release flow type of thing. That's nice. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Cries and JP. Yeah, that sounded nothing like G-Jack sniffing aggressively. I know, he's so difficult to do an impression of. That's like one person. It's really hard to do. Ms. Warden says, lol, G-Jack is such a mad hatter to love him. Haha. I know, he's like, I'm not as into his philosophy, but his like film analysis is great, and he's really funny. Some of his stuff, he's like a really good I don't even know. Like he could be a good comedian or something. Miss Warden says, lol. Oh wait, I already read that. I think that you're right about this. Usually the external but the internal. Yeah, like I mean that's what I get out of it, right? The conditions of the situation. Leno says JP isn't a genius for all purposes, but for his audience, yes. I mean, basically, he just. I'm stealing this from some YouTube comment that I saw once where he's like, "Oh, he says things that I didn't know I knew." And I think of back to when I got into him in like the late 10s, where I was like, that is exactly why I liked him, because it was like him just pointing things out that I didn't know that I knew, kind of like I think of it as being almost like unconscious NI, right? I think of it being as like a backstack NI thing, but not being terrible at it, just being backstack, and then being like yeah, oh, the archetype. I'm like, oh, you're right. Oh shit, right? I was so up in this other space of like the other thing, right? The sort of NE, whatever you want to call it, of the thing, instead of the fucking truthiness of it, which is just like, no, you gotta fucking clean your room, bucko, right? And I'm like, oh, you're right. I was over here doing this other thing. Anyway, he's good at that. He points out stuff you didn't know you knew. You know what I'm saying? Which is not necessarily genius, but it's kind of, if you don't know what's up in that way, or you're focused on the other stuff kind of thing, then that can be very illuminating. But it's funny because I've talked about this, but I got in a mindset for a while in the late 10s where I would just listen to a shitload of Peterson stuff and not even do anything. Isn't that so fucking typical, right? I'd like kind of feel like I was doing something good by just listening to him. It's pathetic. I'm embarrassed, but it's true. Even occasionally now I'll go back and check out some of his older stuff and just be like, oh man, that feels it like it's again, it's that it scratches that itch of like, oh man, I'm talking through something but not walking to that beautiful NI or something, right? Oh man, but then you don't do anything. It's like, fuck, right? I guess that's NISE for you, right? That's interesting. It's like, no, you got to actually do the thing too. I'm like, right. Um, so Ms. Warren says they do say a messy space reflects a cluttered mind. So lative correspondence would say clean one to clean the other, as as without, so within type thing. Oh, law of correspondence. Oh, that's cool. Law of correspondence. Okay. Yeah, I've heard the same thing, and yeah, probably does. Kind of an amazing, almost kind of spiritual kind of thing. Lino says he also doesn't create stuff necessarily, but the way he synthesizes it. I know, right? Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. Um, man, I gotta eat something. Okay, I think I'm gonna be right back. I'll play some rain sounds. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, that's so funny, Misfortune. Yeah, you guys get it. That's the best. I'm like, these tasty NI nuggets of truth, and then no SE. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, but it feels good to know. That's something. It's like, yeah, but you're not actually acting. All right. I will be back in a moment. Hang in there. Stay tuned. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'll just go downstairs. Oh, hallelujah. Hi. Oh, oh. Sorry, guys. I just had a whole ass meal. I didn't eat for like a long time though, so y'all know what it is. Y'all know how it do, how it be, how it be popping off on the daily. Oh, I was just getting real sexy with it, you know. Oh my god. I just really want Eric to be online, please. Please, Eric. I just want to do my freaking typing session. Oh my god, I'm having a nervous breakdown. Nah, but I don't want to do it later. I want to do it right now. Sorry, I'm regressing. I'm having an age regression. Because I'm cranky. No. Oh, I just had some, it's like, I guess it's like roast beef cutlets, I guess. And like, there's like roast beef and like mashed potatoes with, and I just had some ice cream, but I just ate a bunch of ice cream too fast. Shouldn't have done that because now I'm so full. But it's good. Literally didn't eat for probably like 24 hours, might maybe more. That's a problem though when you go too long not eating and then you kind of overeat. I didn't really overeat. I just the uh the ice cream was a little unnecessary, but it was fine. It was just a little bit. I saw a little bit of ice cream. Hee hee. Crazy. I love having dinner and dessert at 10 a.m. Normal. Hashtag just normal people things. It's like CJ, you're not being quirky. You're being unhealthy. But I thought that this was gonna make me quirky. That means that Eric is gonna type me as an NE dom, an NE user, creative. It's because I'm a creative artist. You know, it's like that David Bowie video. You know, it's like you're an artist is dysfunctional. You know, it's like sometimes when you're making great art, you don't eat for 10 days. So anyway, yeah, you do want to be spiffy. You want to be spunky, and all sorts of words like that. Uh, Spiffy, right? This meaning wave. Yeah, I love. But I've been listening to more kind of vapor wave-ish kind of music lately. I really love that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's funny that I think I've seen that. This kind of um, that name sounds really familiar too. This Akira the Dawn uses JP. Yeah, I've seen that. Puts JP stuff on it. I can't even T German vocals. German wave. Let's see. Excuse me. quirky. Quirky bodily functions. What the? What the heck? It's so funny. It's such a funny and a very good meme. A very funny meme. Oh yeah, see. Right. So Misfortune feels me on that about Zizek. Yeah, I'm not on his ideology either. He's just funny, comedian would that be fitting, but he may just be one of the accidental comedies. I mean, he definitely knows he's being funny, like, or like witty, but it's just like you should stick to that, Zizek. You know, it's like don't try to be political or even necessarily philosophical, because he's way too kind of pessimistic and just like not that good. But he definitely is like I love the I watched his movies recently, the Pervert's Guide to Cinema and the Pervert's Guide to Ideology. Those are pretty good. I knew they would be good because every good thing I've seen from him had to do with those clips. Sometimes he when he gets into the ideology stuff, he the it's like, you know, he starts getting I mean, because he's like an atheist, leftist, and it's just like, oh god, you know. But at least he's funny, and you know, whatever, right? He's 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 clever. Um, but I think I might have actually liked the cinema one a bit better. It's just kind of like reflective of that, right? So like, stay in your lane, Zizek. You know, the ideology. I think people have a bias to only acknowledge genius of originality, XP stuff, or not of this and the things of SJ stuff. Well, I was talking about this a bit earlier, and like, I think this is something I might be stealing from someone, but it's probably JP, honestly, right? But there's something about I think like when you're like that what genius is basically doing something that's both new and good. You know what I mean? But I've been thinking that lately, and I kind of feel like with Pete Davidson, I'm just kidding, but with Jordan Peterson, he's like he doesn't really do anything new, but he's pretty good. So I don't know if he's exactly a genius, but I do feel like I mean he's very smart, but and he's probably he might be kind of a genius. I mean, and you're right about the synthesizing stuff. Like that's definitely a certain kind of genius. That's something to consider. So I appreciate that perspective. You're good at that kind of stuff too. It's just kind of like, well, what about this perspective that's relevant in a way that's actually meaningful and not just some complicating bullshit. It's like, yes, good. Um, because synthesizing is not. I guess that would still fall under though, like being good and not necessarily new. Right, but about him being a genius, I mean, it's like, well, so it's still kind of the same thing. But I just, yeah, it's synthesis. It's just thing is, it's just a more specific thing that I appreciate. So Miss Forden says putting words into what you know in your soul. Def gets slash relate. I thought the same JV would have felt internally. Well, I do stuff too, and didn't act either. Totally understandable. Laughing, crying, laughing emoji. Tried to read JP's book. Didn't make it too far at all. Like OMG, I'm sure it's good, but I don't know whether it's too preachy. 2TE dad. Maybe I should try again. Tongue face. We're talking about his name. Action faking. Doing something that gives you the feeling of progress without actually implementing steps to manifest that progress, e.g. motivational videos. That's amazing. That's literally me. Oh, it's literally me. I'm watching American Psycho and it's like watching Patrick Bateman and it's like, that's literally me. So, Yeah. I love action faking. Action faking as opposed to action taking. Am I right? Am I right, boys and girls? Lads and ladies. Does that I like that. I'm gonna start that movement. But anyway, what meaning waves? So we talked about that. And yes, I am indeed back. What up, Boba Fett? I know cultural. I know public intellectual. It's like never trust. I don't know. I mean, public intellectual, right? I don't know. Cultural theorist and public intellectual. It's like, mm, no. I mean, cultural theorist is fine, I guess, but like public intellectual, it's like, yikes, big yikes. I mean, I guess that's what JP kind of is, but at least he's like, I don't know, man. I like him. I don't care, right? I was on this chick's stream recently, and this guy was saying, "Oh, Jordan Peterson and Andrew." I mentioned this earlier, but now that Lino's here, and I don't know if Boba Fett heard this, but some guy was saying like, "Oh, Jordan Peterson's like the same as Andrew Tate. He just comes at it from like a different angle," and I'm just like, "Fucking like Jordan Peterson's like 10 million times better than Andrew Tate. Are you kidding me?" It's like at least he actually is like providing something kind of good, you know? And he's probably a million times smarter. I mean, I'm really not trying to be some like JP shill, but it's like give me a break, dude. And I was saying it's like saying a freaking, it's like I said I thought this sounded smart. I was like and good. I was like, you know, it's like saying a cat and dog are similar because they both got four legs. It's like, come on, buddy. I mean, that's just being very reductionist. Like, oh, he has he why, right? Because he acknowledges gender. You know what I mean? Because he acknowledges gender. Ugh, God. But I just didn't want to, it's like I'm not going to be Mr. like JP shill. I just, you know, recognize his validity just goes way far beyond someone like Tate. Kidding me? That's ridiculous. Um, Nothing zero says I challenge the definition. It implies that the greatest violinist is not a genius because he's just playing what the concertmaster instructs him to. I mean, like I will admit I tend to think of a genius being more like a composer. You know what I mean? But I guess there are ways of being genius that in playing the piece itself. I mean, oh, like the way that he plays it is genius, kind of thing. I can sort of I can get that. I mean, and plus, if you're literally the greatest violinist, if I'm to take what you're saying at face value, it's like, well, that's certainly a kind of genius, but it's definitely a different kind of genius, yeah. Like a virtuoso, it's kind of more virtuosic, more like whatever, right? Virtuoso genius, not composer genius necessarily. Like, oh my god, they came up with a piece that's genius. They play it so well, that's genius. Sure, right? Um, I would just think that the composition is a bit more genius. The playing is not as much genius, but you can do it genius, sure. Um, except maybe you're gonna say, I have another word for that, but then it's to be said that he's competent. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, and I did. It's so funny. Um, it's to be said that he's competent. Well, definitely competent. Genius is just such a like an intense like that's you know what I mean, kind of an intense word. Your definition of genius is to emphasize someone who can make something no one else has made. Well, mine is more like someone who can do something no one else can do. Um, yeah, probably. It's just like, um, hmm, it's kind of an interesting topic though because it's like, well, I mean, is the world's best golfer a genius? You know, I don't know about that. I know. I mean, I guess that's just like athletics, but maybe it's a similar thing. I don't know because you're just like performance kind of stuff, right? Someone who can do something else. I guess that's like a kind of genius, but I just feel like it's a little bit liberal with of the definition, right? Like, let me look up the etymology of genius. I somehow have never done this. Genius definition. Let's see if the the etymology is where it's always at. Oh no way, it's begat. It comes from begat, attendant spirit, present from one's birth, innate ability or inclination. Oh wow, that's deep. That's deep. It's like basically a person exceptional natural ability. So I mean, if you go by that, I guess like anyone, not anyone, but you could anyone that has an exceptional skill, it can be a genius. Something to consider. Well, I mean, yeah, there's several definitions, but the etymology is where it's at. We're saying basically exceptional natural ability. The way he hit that golf ball is genius. I'm like, that's a stretch, but there's kind of like you could say that though, right? Like, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's amazing. There used to be, well, I guess it's kind of like the word genie, because it's like in some mythologies, it's a guardian spirit associated with a person, place, or institution, and the plural noun is genie, but with two eyes. What the heck, right? Like what? Now this is gonna be sending me down a rabbit hole. It's a plural form of genie and genius. Ah, dude, why are they always imprisoned? They're imprisoned within a bottle or oil lamp. What's up with that? Maybe it's like the spark, something about fire, something. Genie. I'm sorry, I gotta just do this real quick. I gotta just do this real quick. I'm a genie in a bottle. Yeah. It just came up. Right, jinn. Oh yeah, the jinn thing from the Arabic. Yo, that's insane. Hold on a sec. Hold up. Wait a minute. So we get jinn. They're capable of causing physical and mental harm to human beings, though. Oh, well, that's according to No, that's Islam. Whether or not they accept, depending on whether they accept God's guidance. Okay, that's amazing. Primary meaning is to hide or to adapt. This is getting a little off topic, but it's kind of interesting, right? You trace it all the way back. You gotta be a good jinn, a good genius, right? Literally, like evil genius, good genius kind of thing. And I see what you just said, Lino. Just hold on one sec. Speaking of that, um, I just want to see real quick what the etymology of jinn is. Yeah, so it's the same thing. From to hide or to adapt. Beings, or they interpret the word literally, beings that are concealed from the senses. Which is kind of true because, like, with genius, yeah, amazing. Tutelary spirit. From French genie, from Latin genius, see genius. It's related. So it's related. It's related. I'm sorry, but here I go again on that vibe. But it's a spiritual type of vibe. It's always like that. Come on, everything always goes back to this stuff. It's always spiritual, moral, spiritual stuff. It's always like this. Just in terms of definition, I mean, you go back far enough, it's like the freaking the it's always some kind of esoteric thing. That's just how it is. Always coming from that kind of vibe. That's crazy though, man. The origins of jinn, from evil spirits to genie, right? It's like they're dressing them up, making them look all good. They're actually bad. It's just like genius. But it is important, where that directionality goes as a jinn and as a genius. Again, you could be an evil genius, you could be a good genius. Anyway, you get it. You get the point. But yeah, there's a bit of a semantics thing, but I mean, iron sharpeneth iron or whatever, right? Kind of thing. I mean, you want to have good definitionality. Is that a word? I don't know if that's stretching it a little bit. Definitionality. It's a made up ass word. I mean, I guess it's kind of a word, but it's a mathematical word. That might be more. That'd be interestingly something that you might be interested in, Lino. But what even though realities and states of being in Uttarakhand, North India, from 2023. Badass. Oh my gosh, that's dope. This dope study right here, sharing ontological metaphors, lived reality. Oh, I just love the word usages. Sharing ontological metaphors, meanings, expressive agency, lived realities, and states of being in Uttarakhand, North India. Something about religion and trying to find out how they behave, I guess. I don't know. Ontology. That word always makes me think of Eric. Ontological. I feel ontologically assaulted by this. But yeah, I mean, I mean, you can never even when you get into good and bad and evil or whatever, right? It's like you could go on and on for days, right? But like, I mean, stuff like this though is a little more concrete, like genius. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, so anyway, he goes. Wait, sorry, I'm missing a few things. So hence the question is novelty and originality important or necessary part for creative or intellectual acknowledgement? Novelty fades as said thing gets mainstreamed. Yeah. Maybe genius is more like how often you sustain those flashes. Like I think even the most mundane. If people can have flashes of brilliance, if your flash is more like a fire, then maybe you're more of a genius. But like the strongest man alive isn't necessarily a genius. But the best golfer is, I think, technique is the key element. Okay, all right, yeah, technique. Because I get that. I was kind of thinking of that, like how you kind of have like a different like you could say that like the golf shot was genius. Like there's definitely a way of being genius and in that kind of thing. And you know, it's like oh that shot he made was genius, stuff like that. Um, yeah, that's interesting. That's pretty good. Fluid intelligence. So yeah, technique. Sure, right. That's pretty good. Fluid intelligence versus crystallized, or maybe they would have to possess both to a high degree for that designation. And I think cognitive function was well as SE geniuses, SI geniuses, etc. Yeah, semantics order known as well as always isn't it CJ. But anyone would be clashing with the words mean or should mean, e.g. good versus bad. Indeed, good sir. Good sir. Good? What do you mean by that? No, I'm just kidding, but Boba Fett says, yeah, there has to be a certain level of skill involved that we can agree upon. Powerlifting requires no brain, so I'm sure there's some technique to it. I'm sure I might be able to convince you that JP does something new and good, and that his communication and formulation brings a messaging that almost nobody can do like him. Yeah, that's pretty true. They do the same with fairies, make them look all benevolent and sweet, but they're neutral and tricksy at best in general. Anyways, exactly, exactly. I just think of Jordan Peterson yet again. Oh my gosh, sorry, that cat's upstairs, fucking annoying. Sorry, but anyway, um, did you do this? I don't know if you guys heard that. Crazy. Uh, yeah, it's like when Jordan Peterson is talking about Tinkerbell, and he's like, she's like the fairy of porn. Oh, it's so true, JP. Oh my god, guys, I really want Eric to get on here soon. I really just want to do this session. I just want to do a session, please. Oh, why am I reading that in Jordan Peterson voice? Well, but it's not good. Well, it's not good. It's not good. That's more of like a me vibe. Me doing an impression of me. It's literally me. And it's like, OMG. It's literally me. Ugh. Hold on. Yeah, you know, it's just this idea I had, I think, when it lies at the crossroads of the new and the good, right? And it's like that's genius. And it's like that is genius. It's like you've not only you've not only come up with something novel, but something that is archetypally resonant. I was taking a bit of liberties with the impression there, but you know, vibes. And Lena goes, yeah, that's essentially a sanctity of life versus quality of life matter. That wasn't exactly you. It was a little bit more prim and proper. It was kind of getting on the JP vibe. And be like, yeah, that's essentially a sanctity of life versus quality of life matter. That was a little closer. Magda says, wait, you just forget or what? Yeah, well, I don't think you forgot. Hold on. What's up, Angan Tier? Anticipation and odd feeling heightened. Yeah, thanks, Lino. Yeah, appreciate your impression of my impression of you. You know, different usages of the word and impression. I mean, it's like you're. It's like. Yeah, I could. It's just not radically different. It's like adding just a tinge of like the slight German accent that you have, the slight accent. It's almost not even. It's not even like really connection is not good. No, but it's not. It's not great. What the heck? It's fine. True novelty is decently tough to find, though. I find more and more that There's Nothing New Under the Sun was more truth than it seemed at first, especially in regards to archetypes and collective. You appreciate my impression of your impression of my impression of myself. That's right, sir. Yeah, it's very slight, and it's always been a point of interest to me because um I don't even really think of your accent as being German. It's just a sort of accent. Like it's almost British. Not even not British, but it's almost like just an accent, some kind of indistinct accent. PC has Ethernet, but I'm on my phone. You're reading up on chat game is killer RN. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else to do. I mean, maybe it's better, and maybe it's also a little better if I haven't smoked any weed. I don't know that that would make too much of a difference, but it could. I was wondering if it. I was wondering if it was making any kind of difference though, because I'm waiting to do the typing session. And since I've been streaming, I've been kind of busy and not really dying to smoke or anything, you know. So, but I wanted to wait so I'd be nice and just clean and clear for the typing session. But it's taking a while. Nah, we were supposed to do it tonight, and he came in earlier, and then I happened to catch him. But then it took me too long to get on. He probably fell asleep, so I'm hoping that we can do it soon. The fuck is this? Warning: please configure both primary blah 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 the configuration. Like what eep. Yeah, that's the thing that's what I was thinking, Misfortune. It's like not as easily distracted, right? Like I think I mean that's the first thing that I thought of. I just didn't know if it was a particularly weed based phenomenon. But I think it is because I think there's a proclivity to kind of do this. You know what I mean? Like look up from the stream and I'll be like, blah 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 blah, like this thing about some other random ass thing. Well, it's kind of like that, blah blah blah, guy, and then just like I'm not looking at the chat at all. But right now I'm like zeroed in. I'm like, Lino just said this. It's like pretty good. I mean, it is what it is, you know. It's like I definitely am a bit sharper. I'm not token on the ganja. Could be worse, but it's definitely the proclivity isn't as high to just kind of isn't as high. No, but it's not as high to kind of get into the other stuff, get distracted. I just don't know what to do, but I've had other stuff. Oh, also, Lino says perhaps it's mid-Atlantic, more than anything else. Yeah, that's interesting. Something like that. Which says unspecified accent, perhaps it's more mid-Atlantic more than anything else. So like that for me when I'm on weed. Distraction on weed. I like that. Yeah, distraction is higher as they tend to enter mind tunnels even more than usual. Exactly. Yeah, it is literally. It's literally that. Angantir says I just don't know what to do, but I've had other stuff. What do you mean with weed? You've had like you've something. Something. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know exactly what I mean. Lino says bole owa. Excuse me, sir. I don't know what that means at all. Yo, my connection is sucking. Sorry, hold on. It's with that, yeah, stimulants. Yeah, it's like other. I figured you meant like other drugs. Well, stimulants get you a little more focused. I mean, I have had coffee and stuff. I had a True North pure energy seltzer and some coffee, which is a bit of a stimulant, but so that helps. But yeah, no weed yet. Oh, bottle of water. Right, right. Thank you. Yes. Um. So if you hear my family's upstairs talking. Um. Stimulants, puddles. I love just being a puddle, big old puddle of water. Bottle of water, a puddle of water. Gotta go. Fades into the wall. Okay. Gotta blast. Yeah, well, I'm getting impatient. I mean, I really would like to do this freaking typing session like now. So I might head out soon and just kind of keep bothering Eric. I mean, I'm still up. I'm popping off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, combo high. Combo high. Well, it's funny because I was just thinking. I mean, I always combo high with the caffeine and the weed. Technically, I guess, right? But the hippie speedball, they call it. But I don't know if you're talking about like something else, stimulants and weed, or something like that. Cause yeah, straight up, I don't do any kind of like stimulant pills or anything like that. Pills, that'd be too much. Like I don't know how. I mean, like Adderall and stuff. I don't know. It's a bit much. I'm already caffeine is like enough for me. I think I don't know. I wonder how that would work though. I've rarely ever done any stimulants like that. I just don't know if it would actually be like a sort of productive, positive thing. Like if I'd really be zeroed in, or if I would just be a sweating like mess. You know what I mean? Seems like it could go either way. I guess if you have stuff to do, it could be good, but I don't know. I think caffeine is enough because I'm already kind of I feel effects from it. It's enough for me. It's enough for me. It's pretty good. Um, I probably should do two. Tata. I probably should do two. I am currently avoiding rewriting my whole resume from scratch. Yeah, that I know it's kind of a pain in the ass. Well, you should do it. You've got to write your resume. No, no, no. Just kidding. But Kenzie says, "Call him, lol." Well, I guess. I mean, I was planning on like giving it until about noon, and it's 11:30 for me because like he's probably gonna wake up soonish, right? So I'll give it a little while. It's just, it's like I don't really want to stop streaming though because I don't want to lose any momentum. I feel like I'm gonna lose the momentum if I stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. Now I gotta charge the laptop a little bit too. The JP impressions really never get old. It honestly did start to get old for a while though in the Discord with like Lino and John. We kind of did them a lot, like all the time. I remember even John was like, "Yeah." After a while, I start doing like a bunch of JP impressions. It kind of gets a little old, and I'm like, "Yeah, but they're so darn fun to do." Oh my god! Now I can't stop doing JP impressions. See how that is. See how that goes. See how that goes. Yeah, calm. You know, it's like I tried calling him last night, and the number didn't work. Watch. This is a number he has up on the last live he did. On the last live he did. No, hold on. I'm just saying it doesn't. The number doesn't work. Have you guys seen this, or am I doing something wrong? Excuse me. Sorry. It's too easy to just get comfortable on here. I'm like, anyway. Mackenzie's like, I'll bother him for you. No, I mean, it couldn't hurt. I don't want to be too demanding about it. I mean, just because this time works for me doesn't mean it's gonna work for him, right? And we did schedule it for 9 p.m., which would be 6 p.m. his time. I would just love to do it a little earlier and just get it out of the way. While I've still got some energy. Still got a little energy left. Well, I mean, look, I'll show you guys. Hold on. So so peep the vibe. Hold on. So on the last live you did, there's a number. And I'm gonna call it.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again.
What's going on? What's going on, buddy? I'm pissed. No, I'm just kidding, but in the last video, he did this cool, I gotta watch this little welcome to TWFP thing. But there's another, let's see if the number is here. There's not a number. Wait, what the? There's not a number. Well, anyway, that was the last number that was up. You're right, don't call. What's the number? Check your number is good. No, that's what it is. There's no number in the description, and there's no, and then the last video, the last live at least was... The last live he posted, the number that's there doesn't work. And then the one on the... There's no video description. There's no number in the last video description. You know what's weird, though? Is that I did get calls from a California number. Like 3 calls, and they all left voicemails that were just like automated. I don't have them anymore because I was trying to free up space, so I deleted them. But it was like, it was weird though, because I was like, is this him trying to call me? But then I called them back, and that number didn't work either. So like, I think it was spam, but it was weird though, because they were California numbers, and they called me it was a California number and they called me 3 times. So what the fuck? But then the number didn't work, and then this one doesn't work. What's up? What's up, Jen Zenial? He's like, I'm just laughing because it's like just funny. I feel bad, kind of hunting him down. Yeah, it's just I'm supposed to do a typing session with him finally, and it's scheduled for tonight, but earlier, and then I missed him, and then whatever, and I'm just trying to. I would like to do it sooner rather than later if he's around. So, and the number you guys up doesn't work. I guess could you post what number you have and see if it's the same, cuz the number I have doesn't work. I mean, it's like, there's no rush. It's just it would just be pretty dope if we could do it soon. He'll probably be up soonish. And if he's not busy today, hold on a second. It's like, oh, it's host Eric at the door. No, the door opens. I think it's because the porch door is open, so there's a little bit of a draft. The draft being drafted into the war. Oh shit. Hi, Boba. Period. Boba. I always think of that Japanese food, those little like boba tea and everything. So kawaii. I saw you did a live last night, Jen Zennial. I saved it, but after Eric's stream, had a little bit of energy, so I figured I'd pop on. I mean, I'm not fretting about it. I just don't want to like try to sleep for a while weirdly during the day and then come back on at night. I would rather just do it now or soon. Whatever. Nah, it's just I wish I missed the window of opportunity earlier, and then fuck you guys, whatever. I don't have to keep explaining it. But no, I'm not fretting about it. I just would rather do it now, and that's all it is. I mean, it's just like, do I really want to just like stay up all day? I don't know. Maybe I will. But that's not that good for the session either. Whatevs. She got she got typed ESTP. She said. Okay, it was just a little bit of a test. I was a Talking Heads reference there. It's like same as it ever was. Amazing song. Amazing band. Well, that album at least, especially. I love some good Talking Head stuff. But yes, right. I'm very nervous he's going to type me ESFP. That's what this is all about. What else could it be, right? It's the last thing anybody wants. I'm just kidding. Remember that one guy, though, that like wanted to be ESFP? That was kind of cool. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw a bit from it. Of it. I think Peter played it or something. And it was very funny. He was like, oh, yeah, no, I was hoping that I would get ESFP. And I was like, yo, hell yeah, right? I like that. Give a hot take every now and then. Come on. You know what I mean? Second time around. Brush up or TI proper and game prepared. Okay. Wow. Went from TI polar to TI second. Proper. Proper TI. Yeah, it's not exact. I mean, what else? 16 types. It's like, what else? I'm just saying it's a quite a bold jump, but also not that bold. Because what else are you gonna be, right? It's like, save your money ENFP. Lol. No, I mean, yeah. Well, imagine I he's probably gonna type me ENTP or something. But regardless, um, no, man. I'm not doing it for. He's nice enough to do it for free as long as we publish it. Um, which maybe is another reason not to push it too hard or anything like that. But no, you're saying, well, he was like, no, I can do it for free if as long as we publish it. I'm like, heck yeah. TI polar butt? Question mark. I don't think it would misfortune. I don't know what that means. Misfortune says, I don't think it would be bad to be an ESFP. Actually, it seems kind of based in reality. Truth and reality. Amazing truth and reality. Yeah, that's kind of true. From their inside perspective, she says from their inside perspective, anyways. Lol. Brian says, back to work. Take care. All good seeing everyone. Oh, take care. All good seeing everyone. Yeah, man. Thanks for popping in. Even if you just for a few minutes, I appreciate it. Peace, man. Yeah, you take care too, bro. This is a nice one. Me clearing for CJ for years now. Really, years? I don't know about that. Shucks. No, I mean it's at least been. It's of the. Ah. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, stretching. Oh. Sure, you're a star. Oh yeah. Stream so funny they ought to call it Lollapalooza. Am I right? Stream so freaking funny, kid. You laughing your head off. I was laughing my fucking head off on CJ's stream last night, buddy. I'll tell you. Pretty fucking funny. Fucking hilarious. Yo, that kid's a star. I'm just kidding. That kid's fucking hilarious, dude. But yeah, I'm a star with like two concurrent viewers and one like. Amazing. Dude, they're gonna put me on the freaking Holly Weird Walk of Fame. They're gonna do it soon enough. I'm telling you. My name in lights. And it's gonna be spelled wrong. It's gonna say PJ O'Connell. That's actually sort of in Boogie Nights too when they mess up the sign. It's kind of funny. Amazingly somehow relevant, definitely. No, that's not what happened, but I didn't think he was right anyway when he typed me ESTP, so partially it was to prove myself, which is cringe, but also because I could do the test fine but didn't. Wait a minute. So No, that's not what happened, but I didn't think he was right anyway when he typed me ESTP, so partially it was to prove myself. We're just cringe, but I was like, also because I could do the test time, I didn't. So, were you typed ESTP the first time and then ESFP? I just didn't know. I didn't know you did too. No, wait, actually, maybe I did low key know that you did too, but I did not know. So, which time were you typed ESFP and ESTP? I think Eric is streaming. What? I'm just kidding. I was wondering if he was going to stream, and I was going to be like, boy, howdy, if he's streaming, I'm going to be so mad. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not going to, like, I'll ask him if he wants to do it after he streams. No one, don't ask him or anything, please. I'll do it. I don't want to bombard him more than already. He'll obviously, get to it when he wants to do it. Again, he's calling the shots here, and plus, he's doing it for free if we publish it. So, I'm just glad he's doing that. Anyway, he says, no, he typed me the same thing both times. He never typed me anything else other than ESTP. Okay, yeah. So he just goes, he is. I'm sorry, excuse me. I enjoyed your such vids, Mac. Personally, your TI seems apparent enough. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I've seen like enough to really judge, but I mean, I don't know if I would get super FI vibes either. I don't know. I'd have to check them out and maybe know a little bit more, but I just wouldn't. Well, I mean, I guess ESFPs seem a bit more like bouncy, you know? ESTPs would just seem a lot more grounded. You kind of strike me as like more like of that kind of vibe, more of a chill vibe, which is good. But I don't know. Maybe it's not all ESFP. It's just the nature of it, I guess. ESFP a little more sprightly, and then ESTP is a little more like chill, which is pretty good. ESFP just gets such a bad rep around, Eric's parts though, which is obviously a little bit unfair, but it's also not surprising. In socio, SFP are the conflict type, so probably just they don't get along very well. Certainly doesn't help. He's also been a lot better about it in recent years. I haven't heard him talk crap about ESFP in a long time. He had that one video recently that was like, who's more dumb, like the ENTP or the ESFP? It's like the ESFP, but I appreciate the humility, Eric, right? No, I'm kidding, but I mean, ESFPs can be bright. Any type can be like smart. It's just different kinds of intelligence, They're be ideally a much more socially, emotionally intelligent kind of thing, as opposed to logically, rationally intelligent. But anyway, I don't know. I'm good. I hope my connection's not too bad, but I'm only got like one viewer, one like. I might want to see what's going on over on Eric's channel. Oh, he's doing a heart thing. I almost said emoji. The fuck? Fucking brain broken by technology. He's doing a heart symbol in his like thumbnail. We'll sneak in here a little bit. We'll sneak in here a little bit. See what's going on. What if I called him Rick? Oh, like Rick and Morty? Oh, come on, Rick. I want to do a typing session now. Yo, that's fucked up, calling him Rick. Mad disrespectful. I'm just kidding, but that's funny. Well, I successfully apparently have 0 viewers now, so now that my boy Rick, I'm just kidding, but now that my boy Eric is streaming, probably siphoning all my viewers. Ooh, I'm just kidding. No, I'm lucky to even have any viewers from freaking Eric's channel. But I probably might head on over there and try to get this vibe going. I'll say something in a minute. I'll give it a minute. You know what I mean? I don't be on his ass too much. I'll just prepare and I'll be like this. Hi, I'm CJ. I'm here for a typing session. It's nice to speak with you, Eric. Hello to the audience members. Okay, you've got this. You've got this. Don't talk about Gremlins. Don't talk about Gremlins. The movie, the film. What? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be funny. I don't even like that movie very much. Gremlins kind of sucks. Steven Spielberg kind of sucks. I'm sorry. Nah, he's alright. He's got some good movies, but I'm sorry. I'll just look at pictures of John Lurie right now for a long time. Thanks, Misfortune. Kawaii. I think I will, Misfortune. Just ruin it. And just troll. Just be a disrespectful troll. Or I like purposely answer the questions like wrong or counter to my normal self. That'd be messed up. Straight up sociopath. That'd be kind of epic though. Kind of based. I'm just kidding. That'd be really funny. I wonder if anyone's ever. I mean, they probably wouldn't. What person would be insane enough to just troll that hard? Because like anyone, plus you're usually paying, so it's just like, yo, that's funny though. To purposely to try to get him to type you something that you're not. To act like a different type and get typed differently. Like that's amazing. That's an amazing idea. No, I would never do that. Believe me, I'm going to come in all humble and sincere and I'm going to be like this. Hi, Eric, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. No, this is really nice. I've been watching you for years. This is so special. Thank you. Stopped watching any. Do you think that club kind of did that to Eric in a way? Yeah, club ESFP. Am I right, fellow TWFPers? But my fist bumps, guys. Fist bumps, guys. This is a voice. Bizarre. I don't. Doesn't that guy just straight up thinks he's an ENTP, right? I've got no idea, but anyone who's got the title of their type in their whatever their username is a little bit sus. You know, just a little bit. Because someone that's like, all right, someone's a little invested, right? Someone's a little bit invested, get a little bit of a personal kind of take. I don't know. Yeah, guys, this is the club for all the ENTPs. We're all here. Me especially, I'm the leader. But I don't know that he was purposefully trying to mislead him. Or actually, I don't know. Didn't he say something though once where he did say he was trolling? I don't know. I'm not. I'm not trying to talk crap or anything because I don't even know this guy. But the whole thing was kind of weird. So I don't know what that was. You know what I mean? I think it calmed down though. I think there isn't any beef anymore. But that was interesting. It was kind of weird, but yeah. I mean, you know, kind of funny. I do enjoy some of the random beef that Eric gets into. I mean, I'm not Mr. Drama guy, but I can sort of some of it can be pretty funny. Eric on T Jump was freaking hilarious. Oh man, that was sort of a mess, but it was still pretty funny. Um, but I really actually don't know INTJ INTJ INFJ combo. Hmm. Some kind of couple that do some kind of MBTI videos or something. So such any types of brothers hang out next year. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I don't even. Thanks, Boba Fett. By the way, I appreciate that. And also, nah, I don't peep any type stuff ever unless it's Eric or Frank James. Sometimes, right? Michael Pierce is the best, but he doesn't. I haven't watched anything from him in a long time. Maybe occasionally Jack from Socionics. Not really, though, to be honest. I don't really watch anything about type these days. Just Eric, smiley heart. But he does have that showman. I mean, this club ENTP guy fits the ESFP showman archetype, performer slash performer archetype like a glove. But yeah, T Jump is a disaster. It kind of was a disaster. I don't. I'm not trying to. I ain't trying to talk no crap or nothing. But like, that's kind of a mess, dog. Like mad. T Jump didn't have to just up and leave like that. Winston's mom said that he was not feeling well or something, recovering from something. So he probably just wasn't having it that day. But that was unfortunate because I wanted like a long. It was only like a half hour. I was like, "What the? Oh, it's over already." I think if it went on a little bit long, I know, man, right? He's got this naturally smug looking face. It's not even like it is though. It is. I think of him as somehow being kind of smug, but he's. I don't even know if he is being that smug. You know, it's hard to explain. It's just something about him sitting there though, like with his big old face. I want to say that it's smug. Like, oh, he seems so smug, but I'm like, no, he doesn't even really seem that smug. I mean, he just honestly, he just seems kind of boring. Like, do you guys get smug vibes? I mean, I'm not surprised. I just he has all the makings of someone who could be pretty smug, but I've I've never seen him be too condescending. That was an interesting thing to watch because that was the first time I think misfortune to someone felt me on this. It's like, wow, Eric got him to lose his cool. I was like, that's T Jump's like whole thing. He got him to break. Host Eric got him to break. Kind of amazing. And actually, it's kind of awesome. No, I mean he didn't need to start yelling, but T Jump didn't. He jumped out. He freaking dipped. That's what it was. I was saying he dipped. He dipped out. Yeah, that's just his. Hey, what's up, Kami9? He's back at it again. I'm still at it because I'm waiting to do a typing session with Eric. Obviously, we almost did it, but then I took too long and he probably fell asleep. But now he's streaming now, and I'm hoping to catch him soon. Right, that's just his face, lol. Resting smug face. Instagram models or something, or, I mean, models, but like basically Instagram models, right? He banged away his depression. That's amazing. I don't know if that's actually amazing. He's also a wicked atheist, trying to start like a atheist church. Like, all right, dude, calm down. Calm down. Is this stream buffering for you guys? Because it keeps being a little bitch. Sorry, I don't mean to curse, but it keeps being annoying. It keeps being irritating. Nice to see some people come in here though. Again, though, you guys are literally giving me life right now. I'm getting back into this stuff. I know. I guess that whole thing is so rich with content. Talking about that debate, that quote unquote, that so-called quote unquote debate, didn't even turn into anything. They talk about one point, dude. Eric leaves for a cigarette, and he's just like, "I'm out of here." T Jump is. That's too bad. We got some Bufferton. Well, I'll try to close out of literally everything else right now and just freaking hope that it gets better. Gosh, I know. I just love atheist debates. Don't you guys? It's so good. It always goes somewhere helpful, you know? No, I watched recently like Frank Turek and Christopher Hitchens. I thought that was interesting, but that's freaking Frank Turek and atheist. And atheist Hitchens, right? No, and Christopher Hitchens. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, it's like legendary, but they didn't. I don't need to watch T Jump getting 900 freaking religious people on and just never agreeing. It's like, whatever, dude. I'm over it already. Tired just thinking about it. It's like, oh, maybe you're just tired. It's like, nah, I'm tired just thinking about it. No, I would never want to go debate like him when he's going off like that. But it is what it is. Imagine having third FU be like that, can be like that, especially for women, as in thinking that you're likely a feeler. That stereotype, that anti-female. It's patriarchal, is what it is. Eric, yo, I'm sorry about this buffering, you guys. This is whack attack. All right, so like, yeah, the whole atheist debate thing. Wait, give him a man a rope, Oh yeah, I see that. Hear that? Yeah, I mean, he's charismatic. He's a charismatic man. I mean, he would probably be fun to party with. I don't know if I stole this from someone. I think I made it up somehow. Deep recesses of my mind. Where he reminds me of like a satyr. Like I'd read about like what a satyr is, and it's like that's like a lustful, like drunken beast or something like that. And it's like that's kind of like what he is. But he's a smart, swaggy dude. So and I look. I mean, I get that whatever he doesn't like religion. What is it's like you know, it's just not to be like that, but it's like. But then the man frickin' drinks himself to death. It's like no, please no. But he definitely had that swagger. I guess I got my swagger back by not believing in God. Is what you mean to tell me? Frickin' drinking yourself to death. Nah, it's kind of sad. But did you guys know his brother is like Orthodox Christian and he's still alive? Cut. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. One time Lino gave me a hard time about that. Not a hard time, but I actually was one of those things where I was kind of like, yeah, you're right. That's actually, I can see how that's irritating. Like, he was saying he didn't like when people say, I'm just saying. And I literally say that all the time. And when I do say it, I do mean to say, um, what I'm saying is simple. I'm trying to simplify it. But I can see how it can be taken as being like somehow belittling of the point you're making. Which it kind of is, right? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's like, well, I mean, you're just saying a lot of bad stuff about Jews. No, I'm just kidding, but like literally though, right? Like something like that. You're not just saying anything, especially if it's not good. That's kind of like Lino's impression of me. That's me being like, it's not good. It's no, that's good, or it's like that's not good, or that's good. Me and my qualitative judgments. So fi of me. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But yeah, it's what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Lino thing. Yeah, just saying, right? It's addictive though. It literally becomes like a habit. So I guess this is some kind of new, the latest INTJ INFJ typology couple. Lol. Oh boy, so exciting! Sounds really good. Oh yeah, what scene am I part of? The Abrahamic scene. Don't know if you've heard of it. It's pretty underground. It's pretty Bethlehemic. I don't know. Bethlehemian. Bohemian. Bethlehemian Rhapsody. Bohemian Typesity. It's so weird. I think of that all the time for some reason. I thought of that earlier. It's not even a good pun at all. Can you please bleep bloop? Just my opinion, just saying. Look, I'm just saying. It's such a funny thing to say. It literally communicates nothing. I mean, it's what I say, which is like saying, yo, this right here though, what Mackenzie's saying. Ultimately, I had a hard time understanding the concept of myself fundamentally using a disinterested calculus to operate in the world. I, to this day, in fact, I think we might have talked about it briefly once. Yeah, I don't even, I don't even know if it like really exists. I'm sorry. No, I guess it exists more relative to the other types, blah blah blah. But I mean, it's like, yeah, I have a hard time with that too. But especially in myself. But who knows? You know what I mean? But what I thought it means, she says, she also says, but what I thought it meant at the time is different than how I understand it now. I don't retract what I just said, but I do genuinely add that I have had some help understanding it from other people. But when you say disinterested I'm just regardless. I'm just saying, right? No. But when you say disinterested calculus, I'm like, oh right, so you're like somehow you operate with an objective framework. It's like how sway, you know. I don't believe it. Yeah, part of me, it's honestly kind of true though. Like I don't even really believe that that's possible because I'm just such a subjective relativist. No, I'm just kidding. Literally no, but I mean, I do think though that everyone kind of starts from a bit of a subjective viewpoint and then kind of works towards the objective, right? Isn't that just kind of how life works? I don't know. I no, actually, me, I have a disinterested calculus. You have an interested calculus. In Alaska. No, I don't know if you guys get those over there in Europa. You're so disinterested. Why? I know what you mean, CJ. If you were so distorted, if you were so disinterested, why even retort? Why have calculus to begin with? Causeway. No, I said, I don't know if it was buffering, sorry, but no, I said how Sway. That's from a Kanye interview with Sway in the morning. Because Sway in the morning was like, you gotta build, why don't you just get the money to fund your own fashion industry or whatever? And then he was like, how Sway? It's so good. It's the best ever. Um, so Mackenzie goes, it makes it sound like you are non selfish and never biased and never doing anything for your own selfish interest. That's either way Eric kind of makes it sound as if people who operate in that way don't have an ego that distorts their judgment making or something. Well, you're right. That's exactly what it implies. I do understand what he means by that, though, and it likely is more of a scale thing. Writing myself completely as biased is what I imagine to be impossible as far as things survival and inclinations, etc. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Pretty much. I mean, you can. I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry, but even though I know that it's not this per se, I still think of it as just being a more detached and sort of like mathematical viewpoint. So yes, in that way, it's a disinterested calculus. But do I kind of like believe that on a daily basis, you're that people are making disinterested calculi about what they're gonna fucking do, what they're gonna eat for dinner? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just you have to be a little more specific than that. But I get the idea. It's maybe not even mathematical. It's at least being like sort of detached, trying to at least being pretty good at making impartial judgments, more objective judgments. that don't have to do necessarily with your feelings at the time, right? I mean, I can't actually even say if that's me, but I would say you'd just be less prone to whim. Well, it's like instead of just being like, "What is what?" I don't know though, right? Because doesn't Eric kind of do that? I guess an EDOM thing too, but it would just probably be like instead of being like, "Well, this is how I feel right now," so like I'm gonna make a decision based on that. You would, I guess, you would use the if then thinking, right? You'd be like, "Well, if I make this decision now, then this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, so I better not do that or do something else." I don't know. Actually, I can unplug this now. Noise. I think it's possible to make a disinterested calculus in your head that is to say you can use TI, but you could still use it to gain what you want. Trying to remove yourself from the equation to see what is the truth slash facts. Yeah. And if he kind of does this, look at Eric. He clearly uses TI, but what is also obvious is that he wants people to see him in a certain way in a position to resolve is maximally correct. Maximally correct. Maximum correctness. I love maximum correctness. I love maximum goodness the most, though. So to gain his clear desire for people to acknowledge his Marty, he's constantly displaying TI. I don't know. It does kind of baffle me. Like, to be honest, I've always said that I don't know what this. I don't think it says anything about my type. I actually think that I'm right and that there's like a problem with the definitions. And NI is fundamentally the most difficult to understand. And then TI, I think. I mean, does anyone else remember when they were first getting into type and it was like, oh, well, that's easy. Like, FI is just your own feelings, so TI is just your own logic. But then you get into Eric's channel and you get into like some of the deeper aspects. And it's like, no, it's not your own thinking, it's objective thinking. And I'm like, okay, well, how does that work? It's like it's a disinterested calculus or whatever, right? It's conditional logic. It's if then statements, it's principles. I'm like, sounds like that's everything. Sounds like you're perfect. No? Sounded like Destiny just then. He always does that. He'll be like, no. I kind of don't like that he does that. But I just did it. I'm sorry. I'm kind of like, no, 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 no. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. Well, actually, I guess, okay, look, listen, to be fair, there is a trade off, right? Because in that way, then you don't really know your own feelings, so to speak, right? So that's kind of a trade off. I got into this with Lino once. Because it was actually about the exact same, the exact same conversation. Well, very similar conversation about TI. Ruben was there, and I was kind of getting into it a little bit, and I was kind of like, well, it's just stupid because it's like just being positioned is objectively better. Like, who would want to say like they're emotional as opposed to rational or something like that, right? Not many people, and I mean, unless you're, I don't know, you don't care about this kind of stuff. You don't have any interest in being logical or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying it's like, well, who wouldn't? That's just objectively better. But then he was kind of like, hey, now, because I was just sort of like, wouldn't you? It just sounds better. You're ignoring your own feelings at the you're being objective at the expense of your own feelings. That's literally altruism. That's literally selfless. But it didn't take long before I was like, Lena was kind of like, well, that's your judgment. That's you. Blah 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 blah. And I was just like, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. I already knew exactly where he was gonna go with that. I'm like, I get it because you don't know, not necessarily him personally, but just like the TI user, they don't necessarily know their own feelings. That can be very detrimental in its own way. And again, since Lino thinks I'm an INFP, and since I probably am, well, I don't know what I am, but whatever. I think it's very likely. I fancy myself as like I know my feelings, and so how could that not be better to be more selfless or something, right? And then it's like, oh well, it's kind of in the words selfless to be without a self in some way, right? That could be very ontologically discomforting. So I immediately was like, yeah, yeah, you know what, you're right. And then it was funny because he was kind of like, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to like jump down your throat there. And I was like, no, that's fine. And then he was like, oh, okay. That's how it is with Mr. Lino. It's always pretty good, you know what I mean? But it was still like I had to like consider that. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, true. But at least how Eric positions it, I don't know about you guys. It might just be that's just what I hear. To my ears, I'm always just like, what? That just sounds objectively better. You're like not mired in your own like nonsense, literally, right? You're nonsensical. Like you're just fucking biased as hell. That's not good. I mean, maybe it's not complete nonsense, but it's like it's not it's not sense. No, but it's not necessarily meaningful. I mean, it's not maybe it's meaningful to you, but it's not like necessarily generally meaningful, let alone generally good. You know what I'm saying? But I guess you could also be too detached, and that's how it kind of goes. Yeah. You could be too attached, not attached enough, too detached, not detached enough. Very true. Amazing truth in reality. um, so I just kind of got on that tangent there. Luckily, I didn't miss too much of the chat. Um, yes, but he likely knows that in some form, at least with her voice or not. But he admits his Effie wants attention. And you're right about it being certain kinds of attention, like Ti should self-scrutinize, but at the same time put blocks due to ego in the mask sense. Deductive logic, Ti, right? Yeah. So they may miss subconscious motivations, not wanting to look in that corner, as opposed to inductive rational reasoning. Ti, yeah. Truth, CJ. Ti gets in the weeds. Ti gets it done quickly, visually. Base CJ. All type perhaps have their segments. Yeah, exactly. It's like gotta keep that in mind. It's just easy from my perspective, I guess, regardless of the type, to just kind of be like, well, that sounds amazing. I want to be objective and logical. You know what I mean? As opposed to subjective and emotional. Are you kidding me? But subjective and emotional just have associations that are much more relativistic, and I mean, to be honest, they're I think associated with not with being just kind of more weak, you know. But to me, it's not even about that. It's literally not. It's about being like correct. It's about being right and good, you know. And if you're just too blinded by your own like feelings, it's uh, I don't see it as being necessarily right and good. But you also need that to have a good compass and things like that. And yeah, it's just it is like that though. There's pros and cons to everything. Tia gets in the weeds. Tia gets it done quickly, efficiently. Yeah, pretty much. But right, yeah, baby, all time press have their setbacks. You heard back from Eric yet? When's the sesh? They're only the single most anticipated session in the history of TMV. No way. It's just you guys, but that's amazing. Thank you. Um, don't make me nervous. I'm just kidding, but I actually don't mind. I don't care as long as it goes well. I don't care if I would be happy if a bunch of people saw it, but as long as it's not live, because I prefer doing the premiere. Well, let's see. I'm gonna chat Eric now. This is gonna be kind of weird because I'm gonna put him on quietly. Sorry. Yo, I'm gonna say yo. Uh oh, Eric's talking about words meaning things. Classic. Top 10 Eric hits. Oh, hell yeah, though. He's getting based right now. Based. He's talking about how you can't switch your sex, but you can switch your gender, I guess? Something like good enough. Oh shit, I'm way behind on the stream. What the fuck? What's happening? But it's just singing. Eric, stop singing. Okay.
Set your game. There are angels in the wings.
Nice. All right.
There are angels in the wings.
Mm,
And it doesn't change a thing. They are thinking about you.
yeah, my connection is sucking right now. I don't know what's the
They're
deal.
talking about you. They're talking about you. They are angels in the wings. Oh my God. I've got to call Corey. He is such a genius.
Who's Corey? Brown on here? Master Bobby? Whatever his name. Over at CJ's too. Hee hee, it's my place. Hee hee. Very kawaii. Oh no, being a human doing instead of just being, that's great. Oh, right. No, KP. We were at a crossroads. I frickin'
Brother
took
was
too long.
loyal. This night, sit down to the royal. Had it right. So
Alright, what the
Dr.
fuck? I'm turning this down a little bit. Some kind of cool little show, though, he's watching. Like, of them performing or something. Pretty good. People dancing. That looks dope. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Mm. Damn, bros. This is sucking. I don't know what the problem is. I'm chill about it. Was just saying, you know. Yes, though, Boba Fett. That's what I just said. You guys probably didn't hear me because the freaking connection is bad. But my connection is apparently good. It's allegedly good. My team is telling me. The voice is in my head. No, the connection. It just says that it's fine here. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. It's like, what do you mean? What do you even mean by that, though? I mean, it says right here, it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Yeah, but what do you really mean? No, but seriously, I don't understand why it's not.
Everybody, we're going to use the one from this evening, okay? It's on the calendar for this evening. Just to make sure there's no problems, let me get the goddamn link.
Oh, nice.
I won't be able to paste it here. So I'll publish that for some time today. I'll schedule for some time today when we're done, unless CJ says no, he doesn't want me to do that. All right, so CJ, I will see you in the Google Meet room in just a couple of moments.
Yes.
Goodbye, everybody. We're going to use the one from this
Yes.
evening, okay? It's on the calendar for this evening. Just to make sure there's no problems, let me get the goddamn link.
Boba Fett, can you
I won't be able
stop?
to paste it here. So
No offense, but
just
give
go
us
to
the link
one
to
that's
get
scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight. Go to that Google Meet room. I'll see you there. I'm currently entering that room right
Okay.
now.
Heck yeah, you guys. All right.
There. Goodbye, good night, and good luck.
All right. All right, guys. I am going to finally do the session now. Hey. All right. All right, guys. Finally, I I'm gonna join the session now. I think I have it up right here. So, all right, I'm gonna turn on the lights here. Get ready real quick. Yes, Karma's Pimp. I'm doing it now. About to hop in the meetup room. So I'm gonna do it now so I can catch him right now. So thanks for being here, guys. I will. Nah, man. I'm not. I'm gonna just do this now, and then maybe I'll come back on after. We'll see. But I'm gonna just do the session. He'll probably put it up tonight or tomorrow or something. So, but I'll talk to you guys after or something like that. Yes, thank you, Ruben. Appreciate that. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it. I'm gonna go do the session now. All right, thanks for being here, guys. Peace, fam.